everyone and welcome back to my channel. So last year I got diagnosed with Raynaud syndrome, Raynaud's disease, Raynaud's phenomenon, whatever you want to call it. And it's been a bit of a learning experience trying to work out what to do to try and stop my hands ending up like this. But there are 5 products that I use on a regular basis now whenever it starts getting cold, and so far this year, touch wood, I haven't had a flare-up. I've been close to a flare-up. It's got a little bit hairy, but I managed to keep it at bay. So I want to show you what I've got. If you have Raynauds yourself, I'm sure you'll find this really useful, or if you have friends that have Raynauds and Christmas is coming, these could be great presents for them because they will love you for it. Because Raynauds, for me anyway, is quite painful. My fingers just ache after they've had a flare-up or when they're close to having a flare-up, and it's just horrible having achy joints, so it's best to try and keep your hands warm and just keep warm in general as well. But for anyone who is a little unsure on what Raynauds is, it's when you lose the circulation to your extremities, so it can actually be in multiple places. It can be your hands, your feet, your lips, your nipples, which freaks me out. I really hope I don't have that because I can only imagine how painful that is. So yeah, you can get it in many areas of the body, and you get it when the blood vessels constrict or spasm, and then it reduces blood flow to that area of the body. I personally get it in my hands and my feet. I haven't noticed it anywhere else, and my feet isn't very common thankfully, but my hands do flare up quite a bit. So let's go through all the products I have, and hopefully you can find something that will really help you or help a friend. I will link everything in the description below, and some of these things I bought last year, so if I can't find the exact item, I will find something very similar for you. I'm going to start off with the main one, the thing you really need. It is the most expensive item out of everything I have bought, but honestly I do swear by it, and that is an electric blanket. My one is by the brand Dreamland, and I think it was around £70, but honestly it is life-changing. We still haven't put the heating on. It's now the end of October, and I do struggle with the cold. Like, I feel the cold so much more than I used to since last year, and I had the diagnosis. The silliest things seem to make me really cold, and I can be freezing when everyone else is boiling. It's very strange. So something like this is really useful because my partner is so hot-blooded, and if he had the heating on as early as I'd want it on, I think he would move out. So this blanket is really useful just to cuddle up in, keep really warm, and it's really cheap to run as well, so we are saving a lot of money on heating already just because I have this blanket. So although it is an expensive investment, I think it pays off very quickly. You have multiple settings you can put it on, and you can have multiple time frames as well, so you've got 1 hour, 3 hours and 9 hours, so you can have it on all night if you'd like it. I usually just put it on the highest setting for 1 hour when I'm trying to sleep and in the morning, and then I'm right as rain. Next up I have what I call my driving gloves. They're actually running gloves by Sweaty Betty. I managed to get them on sale, but the reason I love them is because they have grips on the inside of the hand, so your hands don't slip on the steering wheel. But I found I got constant flare-ups when I was driving, and I think it's because you're holding your hands up to hold the wheel, so then the blood is kind of draining out your hands anyway. Your heart has to work faster to get the blood to the extremities, so if it's spasming or if it's a bit constricted, obviously there's going to be a flare-up. So these are my driving gloves, and honestly they are so helpful. Just getting straight in the car, putting the gloves on, and when I wear them I don't notice getting a flare-up, and because it has those grips I don't have to worry about slipping on the wheel, because lots of other gloves do cause you to slip on the wheels. So it's not exactly what they're meant to be used for, but they work really well. Next I have this electric hand warmer, and this is what I use most at work. You charge it up like you would a phone, and then it has 3 settings, so you've got low, medium and high, and it gets so warm so quickly, and it does last quite a while, but you know, eventually it will die. You can also charge your phone from it as well, but I always save it just for the heat because it doesn't last forever, and to be caught out in the cold without your hand warmer, it's not nice. But I highly recommend this. It's about £20 to £25, and you get lots of different sizes as well, so I have gone for the bigger one, but I used to have a smaller one, which I actually think was a much better size for me because I could hold on to it and still use my keyboard at work, whereas with this it's a little bit harder. But honestly they are so useful to have, and they are so comfy to hold as well. I used to have the ones made of liquid, and you'd like snap the metal plate inside and then it would all go crystallised, and then you'd have to boil it to get it back to point 0.1 I guess, and they were they're really good, but they are a bit of a faff to have, and once you've used them once, you can't use them again until you've boiled them up. So something like this is a lot more user friendly, because even if it dies while I'm at work, I can just plug it into the wall, charge it up again, and then off I go again. So it's really handy and accommodating when you're in day-to-day life. However, if it dies and I have forgotten my charger, or for whatever reason, or because you have to wait for it to charge up before you can use it again and turn it on, I also have a microwavable soft toy, I guess. I had this from pretty much when I was a kid, and it's still going strong. So all you have to do is shove it in the microwave for a couple of minutes, and then it's really nice and warm. Or I have a mini hot water bottle, which is sort of hand sized, so I can always fill that with water from a kettle, or I pop him in the microwave. And that's just also great just to hold on to, or to have on your lap if you're sitting down. Because my job is mainly standing, sometimes I just cock it under my arm, and it's enough to kind of make your body heat warm up a little bit, so I find it really helpful, because I have to be using my hands constantly at work, so I can't often just hold something to warm me up. But yeah, he's really useful, he's really sweet, and since I've gone on the website, I pretty much want every other animal there is on that website. They're so cute. And even just for anyone, like, there doesn't have to be someone with Raynaud's, anyone that just gets cold during the winter and wants a nice warm microwavable toy, these are great. These are so cute. And finally, to sort my feet out, I have these slippers. But these aren't just ordinary slippers. These have a little pocket in where you can put a microwavable bag. Now these my partner actually bought me a few years ago from Debenhams, and of course they've all shut down, so I'm going to see what I can find online that is similar, but these are so handy. When he first bought them for me, I didn't have issues with getting cold at all on my feet. Actually, my feet always used to be really warm, and the idea of using these with the wheat bags just made my feet sweat just thinking about it. But now they are actually such a lifesaver, because sometimes I get so cold and I can feel it coming on, so all we need to do is shove them in the microwave and then I'm happy for a good hour or two. I think the important thing with Raynaud's is to work out where your flare-ups happen. So for me, I found that it was when I was driving, so I always make sure I keep those pair of gloves in my car. They never leave my car. I always take them off before I get out, so I know they're in there. And also things like shopping, food shopping and stuff. Thankfully I do that with my partner, so if I ever am holding something cold and I haven't been able to get to the trolley in time, I just chuck it to him, and then I don't have to hold it anymore and my hands can recover. So it's just finding what triggers it and then working out how to live around that, because sadly we got to do these day-to-day life things, and I am incredibly lucky not to have it any worse. I know some people have it really, really bad. The worst that I have ever had a flare-up for was, I think, half an hour, and of course you do still get the uncomfortable feeling afterwards when the blood returns. I'm so blessed not to have it as bad as some people, but I do still need to get tested to find out if it's primary or secondary Raynaud's, which I will hopefully be able to look into soon, but with COVID and everything, it is very hard to get appointments. Another thing to mention as well is that I have found running has really helped. I've just bought a treadmill, and running has helped so much with my circulation. I remember just before running, I test my hands, so I'm quite good at the moment, but if I squeeze my hands up and I let them go, you can see how blotchy my hand is, and sometimes my hand will be so blotchy and the blood doesn't return for a long time, and that's kind of how I test my circulation. But after I've had a run and I do that, I can be good for so long, like my hand will just look normal. So running really helps as well. Exercise, having a healthy diet, relieving stress, all these things really help with Raynaud's too. So all things I'm trying to work on now, but they are also things to keep in mind. Your lifestyle choices can have such a big effect on how your body is and how your body functions, so give yourself some love every now and again. But that is it from me. If you were to only buy two things from this video, I would recommend the hand warmer and the electric blanket, because they are what I rely on most. If I had to sacrifice everything else but keep two items, those are the two items I would keep. But hopefully you have found maybe some present ideas or something for yourself to help you live life a little bit easier. But thank you so much for tuning in to today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!